What's going on, my fellow dongs, and welcome to another tier list video. Today we're going to be doing the Mario Kart 8 tracks. It's finally here. This is going to be a doozy. Here we go. First off, also I want to mention that I'm recording this the whole screen because this is a big track list, so this is probably going to take up the whole screen most of the time, so sorry for all that, I guess. First up we have is DK Jungle. I'm just going to go over the way it shows right here. Easy S tier in my opinion because I love this track. It's by far one of my favorites in the entire game. And one of my favorite new tracks, honestly. Also ignore Dory. Sorry. Oh well. Oh, they're gone. Anyway, DK Mountain, one of my favorites, obviously. Ignore the ads on the side. Nothing I can do about that. Next up we have is Music Park, A tier. I really like this track. It's one of my favorites. Like, you can't go wrong about this one, I guess. Next up we have is Piranha Plant Slide. You're going to be mad at me, but I'll put that D tier because I never liked this track in Mario Kart 7 because I complained about it with the Piranha Plant. It's cool for what I like the concept, but still not my favorite, honestly. Next up we have is Bone Dry Dunes F. This is literally one of my least favorite new tracks in the entire game, so yeah. Next up we have is Bowser Castle, A tier. Nintendo always tries to make the Bowser Castles good, and I feel like this is one of them that's probably one of my favorites anyway. Next up we have is Cloud Top Cruise. I'll put this at B tier. Another really cool track on airship. It's probably one of the more unique ones, honestly. Next up we have is Dolphin Shallows, S tier. I mean, you can't go wrong about the dolphins, right? I mean, have they ever reappeared in anything? Maybe they did, but I just don't remember the game. These are from Mario World, by the way. Next up we have is Cheap Cheap Beach, C tier. It's a decent track, but it's not my favorite one. Come back. I never liked this in DS, so I don't know. It's an okay track, I guess. Next up we have is TikTok Lock, going in the S tier. Everybody should love this one. If you don't like this track, we need to really have a talk. Next up we have is Wario Stadium. I'll put this at B tier. I mean, I like it, but I mostly like Waluigi Stadium or Waluigi Pinball, so maybe that's why I don't like this one as much. So yeah, this is from the DS, by the way. Next up we have is Electrodome, easy S tier. Basically one of my favorite new tracks, honestly. So can't go wrong about this one. I'll put this above this one because it's one of my favorites. Next up we have is Mario Circuit on the GBA, from the GBA game. D tier. It's an okay track, but still not one of my favorites. It's kind of like too flat, honestly. I don't like flat tracks. Next up is Treasure Desert, D tier. They kind of ruined this one from Double Dash, and it's not even as exciting anymore, so I have to put this low. Next up we have is Sherbet Land. This is from GameCube as well. I gotta say, A tier. This is one of my more interesting ice tracks, actually. And probably one of my favorites. I would always love this one, in my opinion, so yeah. Next up we have is Mario Circuit. This is the new one they add. It's only slightly above average. It's kind of average, but kind of meh, in my opinion. Next up we have F, basic track. Next up, Mount Wario, easy S tier. Everybody should love this track. If you don't, you need to really play Mario Kart 8 because you have to love this track. It's by far the best track in the game. Next up we have is Rainbow Road from the N64 game, A tier. Probably, again, they've really remade this Rainbow Road way more differently than the N64 game. One of my favorites. Next up we have is Royal Raceway. I'll put this at B tier. This is another classic gem track I always have nostalgia to. But it's too bad we can't drive to the Peach's Castle anymore. Kind of sad, I know. Next up we have is Toad's Turnpike, going to D tier. I never liked this track in the N64. I don't like this one. And this one, I don't even know why they brought this back in the first place. Next up we have is Yoshi's Valley, F. I don't like this one either. I really don't like some of the N64 tracks anyway. Next up we have is Rainbow Road. This is the new one they add. C tier. It's okay, Rainbow Road, but it's not my favorite one in my opinion. I feel like this is probably one more lacking Rainbow Roads I've ever had, honestly. They've ever made, honestly. Next up is Shy Guy Falls, C tier. It's an okay, but it's meh. I know a lot of fans don't like this one either, so yeah. Next up, Donut Plains 3. F. It's a flat track and it's a Super Mario Kart track. I really never liked Super Mario Kart tracks except Ghost Valley. Next up, Sunshine Airports, A tier. I love this one for the references, so maybe that's why I put this a little higher, I guess. Next up is Sweet Sweet Canyon. I'll put this at B tier. I feel like this one's kind of cool, but most of it is just lacklustering and stuff. So maybe that's why I put this low, I guess. Or maybe a little higher, but I've always liked this one, the original, so I don't know. I've always played it a lot, so I don't know. Next up, Toad Harbor, A tier. There we go. A tier. I love this one too. One of my favorites. So yeah. Next up is Dwop Ruins. Honestly, it's not that bad, but it's kind of on the mess side. Next up, Twisted Mansion, A tier. Don't need to mention this one. It's a mansion. I don't think it's as good as Luigi's Mansion, but it does have a lot of unique gimmicks, I guess. Next up is Water Park, A tier. I always love this one. I don't know what. Maybe it's because I like going to water parks, but this is one of my favorites. Honestly. What the hell? Okay, whatever. That was weird. Next up, Grow Volcano going D. I hated this track in Wii. I don't like this one in this game. Don't judge me. I really hated this track, okay? Next up is Moo Meadows, D tier. I feel like this one's kind of lacking. Maybe that's why I put it a little low, I guess. Next up is Neo Bowser City, C tier. It puts a lot of effort into this one, but I never liked it in 7 because of all the turning, I guess. Next up is Animal Crossing, Easy S tier. Obviously, everyone loves this one with the whole season changing. It's seriously one of the most unique ones they came up with. I'm gonna go ahead and skip Big Blue and go immediately to Mute City, putting in the easy S tier. This is the closest thing we'll ever get to F-Zero, and my god, they really did a lot with this one. Next up we have is Big Blue. Also a very easy S tier. I feel like this one is better than Mute City. It's longer and way more epic. Man, I don't know why Captain Falcon wasn't playable in Mario Kart 8. Maybe it's because he wasn't relevant. Smash. Next up we have is Dragon Driftway, F tier. Too many turns. I mean, they have the dragon from Galaxy, which is cool, but I never liked this one at all, so yeah. Next up, Excite Bike Arena, S tier. I love this track. It's probably one of the most satisfying tracks to play on. You can't go wrong about one of the most unique things Nintendo's made that hasn't been referenced in a decade, so yeah. Next up is Cheese Land, also going to S tier. I didn't think this one would be one of my favorites, honestly. I don't know what's gotten me into this one so much. It's maybe because I like cheese, but that's not the reason. Next up we have is Ribbon Road. Yeah, we'll do Ribbon Road first. I'll put this at the B tier. I know this is another classic Super Mario Kart track, Super Circuit track. One of the more interesting ones, in my opinion. Next up is Baby Park, F. Next up we have is Yoshi Circuits. I'll put that C tier. It's probably one of the more interesting tracks, but it gets boring really easily, so maybe that's why I put it a little low. Next up we have is Hyrule Circuits. I'm gonna put this at S tier as well. I mean, it's a Legend of Zelda course. Who doesn't like this one, right? Hopefully he gets a Mario Kart Tour. All right, next up is Ice Ice Outposts. Now this is the one I couldn't figure out because this is an okay track. I'll put this at C. This is definitely one of my least favorite new DLC tracks they added, and like it's just a bunch of turns and flat stuff, so maybe that's why it's kind of more on the mess side. Next up we have a Super Bell Subway, putting it at S tier. Don't judge me, it's one of my favorites. Wild Woods, another great track, S tier. And then I'm going to skip random. Wario's Gold Mine, putting it at A tier, is one of my favorites on the Wii. And last, but certainly not least, Rainbow Road SNES. Gotta put this boy in S tier. One of the best Rainbow Road tracks, honestly. Oh, it's over, guys. We did it. We did it. We did all the Mario Kart series. We can breathe happily. We can do whatever we want now. So yeah, guys, that's going to be it for the video. I want to actually do some more gameplay video. I want to go back to gameplay videos eventually, but alongside if I'm running out of videos and stuff. So hopefully I can try to get some gameplay videos again and maybe go back to Let's Plays. Who knows? So thank you guys for watching. This Mario Kart TLS series is over now. We can breathe. If you have your own opinions, I'll put a link maybe in the description or something. And We'll have a lot more stuff for tier lists, ranking videos, more maybe let's plays. We'll have a lot of content for this channel, I promise. I've really been active on this channel, so maybe that's why I've uploaded a lot. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time for more ranking videos, gameplay videos coming up soon, and all that stuff. So thank you guys for watching. See you next time for more. Later, folks.